Tonight on Cougar News, find out what's happening to baseball fields all across Santa Clarita.
Take a look at a new type of ice cream one local shop is rolling out and see if customers are giving it the cold shoulder.
And find out what's next for the Supreme Court after the confirmation of a new justice. Cougar News starts now.
This is Cougar News.
Hello everyone and welcome to Cougar News. I'm Elizabeth Medina.
And I'm Luis Villa, and here's the latest from the Cougar Newsroom.
October 1st marked the first anniversary for the deadliest mass shooting in modern American history. I had the opportunity to sit down with a survivor to talk about her life since the attack.
Calm down, it's all right.
The screams tell a story that no one saw coming. Just a few feet from losing her life.
I remember thinking that I was going to die, that there was no way I was getting out of there.
365 days.
It's been a very rough year. I have dragged my feet going to therapy.
Returning to Las Vegas October 1st was one step closer to healing.
I really strictly went out there to have fun and start making some fun memories to counteract what happened.
What happened 1 year ago was a massacre that ripped families apart.
The stress started coming through, and Monday was a weird mix of emotions because I think at this point I am almost numb to it because I have felt so much. I was dead set I wouldn't be at the venue in the evening. I didn't think I could do it, so I was like, I need to see the venue. I need to get out of the car and I need to touch the gate that I ran out of because I was like, it's just, I have to.
Surrounded by deep-seated grief is a constant reminder.
You see these families devastated and you just kick yourself and go, why wasn't it me? Thankfully, I have the support circle I have in my life. My best friend, Corey, my other best friend, Danny, my boyfriend. You have to find your support, even if it's a therapist, if it's a support group that has nothing to do with what you went through. You can find trauma support groups.
To those struggling to move forward,
it's okay to not feel hopeful sometimes. You always see hopeful stories because that is what people like to see, is once the tragedy is over, they want to see the nice things. It is okay to not feel those nice things and to get mad about seeing those nice things because you feel like you're stuck. Just don't let it consume you.
and to those who are unaware of the trauma.
Do not expect me to be over it. Do not expect any of us to be over it. It is insulting. It invalidates everything that I feel because you do not know what this feels like unless you are unfortunately part of the club.
For Cougar News, I'm Elizabeth Medina.
How safe do you feel on campus? Security usually isn't the first thought to come to students' minds when thinking about attending class. But for some, that may have changed. I show us why.
Campus safety is not typically a topic at the back of many students' minds, but an email sent from College of the Canyons highlighting 2 recent incidents has brought concerns of just how safe are students on campus.
I never really felt unsafe on campus. To hear about that kind of shocked me because I thought the campus was pretty safe in general.
Female students are especially troubled to hear the news that someone was taking indecent videos as they walked up stairways.
I think it's really concerning and disgusting that somebody would do that to a young female, and even like the older women that are going to the school.
However, some students aren't exactly surprised.
Well, I mean, I thought it was kind of crazy. I've experienced other stories, and I understand that things like this happen all the time now.
College of the Canyons Vice President of Public Information, Eric Carnish, advises that students should do their best to always stay alert.
Yeah, I think awareness is the biggest thing, and just paying attention to what's going on around you. I know so many times, it happens to me. I have my nose buried in my phone, not always cognizant of what's happening around me.
Mr. Harnish also suggests that students should walk together in groups if possible.
I think it also helps to walk with friends and be with at least one other person, especially in the evening hours.
And if you have no one to walk with at night, Campus Safety also has you covered.
We do have a campus escort service that's available Monday through Thursday evenings, and students can simply call the communication center on campus and ask for a ride.
It is important that all students do their best to stay vigilant and to report any suspicious activity to Campus Safety. For Cougar News, I'm Luis Villa.
Feeling hounded by midterms and academic deadlines? Reporter Bobby Block brings you the latest on how therapy dogs are helping students cope with stress on campus.
With midterms on the horizon, some students are having a rough time dealing with their stress. To help them stay focused and give them a chance to relax, ASG sponsored an event to bring therapy dogs on campus.
Yeah, so this is the first time we've done an event like this, and it was a great success.
Students gathered outside the Student Center to pet the dogs and watch them perform tricks. The animals and their owners are part of a group called Love on a Leash.
We visit places like hospitals, nursing homes, colleges, elementary schools, and libraries, and we go to help other people to cheer them up or bring a smile to their face.
They say that their dogs can have a big impact on the patients they visit.
The little girl was on her bed with her mother, screaming, and we told them paws up, which we just put their paws on the bed so it could get closer to the little girl, and all of a sudden the little girl stopped screaming. And then we were there for maybe 10 minutes, and by the time we left, the little girl was smiling and petting the dogs, and she even waved goodbye.
Oh, yeah, we're coming next Tuesday.
Here on campus, it's pretty clear that they accomplish their mission to warm hearts and raise spirits.
Me too. It's a lot of fun. I think it's a good idea to have therapy dogs on campus, especially during like midterm time.
Seeing all these dogs helps me just it kind of makes me happy. It makes me happy seeing all these animals.
If you missed the event this week, there's still a chance to see the dogs on campus.
We're bringing them back next week, and then we're bringing them back around finals week too.
For Cougar News, I'm Bobby Block.
With the fall midterms right around the corner, some students are experiencing high stress that can turn into anxiety and depression. Cougar News reporter Candace Williams sat down with students to give us more about their constant battle.
Mental health and awareness is at an all-time high at College of the Canyons. Students battle each and every day with classes and trying to conquer their mental health. Media filmmaking student Shane Kirch shares his experience with anxiety and his battle to finish strong.
If there's something that's causing the anxiety and I kind of know what is causing the increase of it, I usually just kind of lay there in bed and kind of not want to show up, basically. That's kind of with everyone and whatever they do. It'll start getting worse, like my heart rate would start increasing, or my blood pressure, and then I'd start thinking too much, and then it just kind of spirals downhill, and then I'll need to distract myself by going on my phone.
COC therapist Danielle Kalin also weighs in her thoughts on students and their doubts with anxiety and depression and how they can get better.
Changes in their ability to do schoolwork, maybe not doing as well as they used to do, struggling to ask for help. There are a lot of students that coming from high school, and this is their first semester in college, and they're coming from a very different structured class environment to something that's really more in their hands and they have to do on their own, and it's a big change, and they get overwhelmed and anxious.
Mental illness is a serious issue here on COC campus. If you or someone you know is struggling with mental illness such as anxiety, depression, or bipolar, please seek the Student Wellness Center at the Student Center. For Cougar News, I'm Candace Williams.
There's always a commercial for the next great video game coming out. But are kids being exposed to too much violence through games? Cougar News reporter Michael Estrada takes us into the mind of a gamer.
Violent behavior in video games have always been a topic of discussion, especially concerning kids. But are they really as harmful as people think?
Dude, I do love video games, man. I grew up playing video games. Got Sonic, you got the Mario Bros, got the Call of Duty, the Halo, you got it all. So I grew up with that. loved it all. So I feel like my dad would always emphasize, he's like, yeah, this is just a video game. You got to remember this is just a video game. So just hearing that in my ear, man, it's like, all right, I got to remember that none of this is real, but some people, man, they take it next level and, you know, they forget what's reality and then what's fiction. So that's what's up.
In 2010, Dr. Christopher Ferguson of Texas A&M argued that many studies on media violence measure aggression in ways that don't correspond with real-world violence. Even more importantly, he argued that many studies that have found correlation have found just that and don't have enough evidence to prove cause and effect. In a 2015 study, Andrew Przybski, the experimental psychologist at Oxford Internet Institute, argued that all observed behaviors were very small in magnitude, suggesting only a minor relationship at best, and that games do not have as large an impact as some parents and practitioners worry.
The correlation between violent behavior and violent video games, I think there is some if it's a child that doesn't have an understanding that there needs to be a difference between how you act in person to other people and how you act in those video games. So if you're playing GTA and you're, 7, maybe you don't understand that it's not okay going around beating people on the streets because, they make funny noises after you do it. But if you're older, I think most people have a deeper understanding that it's not okay, and I think then it's more of a way to relieve stress, relieve aggression in kids or, older people. Like the second that they understand that it's not okay to treat people this way, but it is in this virtual world, I think most people are able to differentiate between the two realities, in a sense.
Video games alone aren't the cause of aggressive and violent behavior, and it is wise for young children to stay away from violent media, whether it be video games, movies, television, or anything else. So if you're going to buy a video game for a child, check the rating and make sure it's age appropriate. For Cougar News, I'm Mike Estrada.
And regrading on those fields.
If you are interested in joining the adult league baseball or softball teams, here's how.
You can get information by going online. It's www.santa-clarita.com. In the recreation section under adult sports, there's information as far as those leagues. You can also call the adult sports office at 661-290-2240.
For Cougar News, I'm Elena Thacker.
Politicians gathered at the City Council Forum to discuss hot topics that residents of the Santa Clarita Valley feel are a growing cause for concern.
Politics are a hot topic in today's news. Here at COC, City Council members meet to mingle with one another.
Candidates and current seat holders were given 90 seconds to answer questions regarding local issues. One Santa Clarita resident in attendance expressed her main concerns in this upcoming political season.
Traffic has always been a concern of mine, and as we've always had new growth, they've built new roads, but I like the idea of maybe having synchronized lights. I think that would help a lot.
Logan Smith, a challenger on the council, has a solution to the increased traffic in recent years.
Yeah, so we have a traffic control center. It's a very expensive, very high-tech traffic control center at City Hall, and we need to make sure that we have at least 2 full-time employees who are staffing that center doing the real-time light synchronization for emergency services, or when we see, I think everybody in Santa Clarita has had that experience where you sit at a red light for 3-4 minutes and there are no cars coming. So we need to take advantage of the technology and the resources that we have right now to cut down on traffic.
Most residents currently have a stressful commute into the downtown and its surrounding areas. To help alleviate the stress, Smith explains the importance of bringing jobs closer to home. He's even nicknamed the Crazy Commute.
405 Shuffle, or the Santa Clarita Shuffle, which is that frantic triple lane change that a Santa Clarita driver in the HOV lane does to get over to the 405 ramp when they realize they've got about 100 yards and their Waze is yelling at them.
City issues and concerns can help be resolved with the power of your vote.
Remember, democracy is everyone's responsibility. Don't forget to head to the polls to give your opinion. Reporting for Cougar News, I'm Ashley Bautista.
Coming up next on Cougar News, we take a look back and see what shows are making today's college students feel nostalgic.
And see some of the creative dishes that students at COC's culinary school served up for their final exam. Stay tuned.
The American Red Cross urgently needs blood and platelet donations and asks donors to schedule an appointment to give now. Every 2 seconds, someone in the United States needs blood. Your blood donation is critical and can help save lives. Please, schedule an appointment today. Download the Blood Donor app, visit redcrossblood.org, or call 1-800-RED-CROSS today. You can make a difference.
They've been very caring. They care about every single student that's in the class.
Yeah, everyone seems to be like pretty friendly with each other. Like, no one's really afraid to ask each other for help.
Working with other people, not being ornery, actually, listening to what people say, collaborating with them to create a really good product.
It's great to use the same stuff the pros use, especially at a community college.
Hopefully we give them a pathway to have their creativity showcased.
I've gotten a great education.
I love the access to equipment.
I've made lifelong friendships.
I have great teachers.
This is Cougar News.
What is MASH star Michael Farrell doing at COC? And why is he talking about global warming? Valeria Vasquez checked out to Hasley Hall to find out.
This Monday, the Institute of Ethics, Law, and Public Policy presented Dr. Keeling's Curve, a video representation of a one-act play performed by Michael Farrell, best known for his role as Captain B.J. Honeycutt on the TV series MASH.
Did you say that? Boy, are you edgy today. You ought to see a doctor.
The play follows Dr. Keeling, the first scientist to successfully measure carbon dioxide in Earth's atmosphere. It chronicles his work in measuring the effects of atmospheric change created by global warming. The evening was hosted in Hasley 101 by Farrell and writer George Shea. After a recent New York Times article predicted a global warming crisis as early as the year 2040, the two felt it was important to bring this play to the masses.
There's so much ignorance on the subject, and I think if you found a way to explain climate change simply and entertainingly, it would go a long way.
And how can we combat this issue?
Vote. And the second answer is work to get out the vote. Call your friends.
Having a house party, showing it to your friends, showing it at schools, showing it at meetings of organizations that are concerned about these issues.
I hope it informs people on this subject, and I hope people realize how important it is.
For Cougar News, I'm Valeria Vasquez.
The culinary program here at COC has more to offer than just spectacular dishes. Cougar News reporter Leah Rosil got a taste of what's cooking in their kitchen this semester.
See how I'm moving the flame? Yes, Chef. Done.
College of the Canyons Institute for Culinary Education offers certificate programs in which students can learn what it takes to succeed in a professional culinary environment.
It preps you for like a live kitchen experience. You do everything that other kitchens do. You have to come in prep early, and then you got to execute on the fly and do everything that you're supposed to do just like a regular kitchen.
The courses not only give you a taste of the professions in the food industry, but they host lunches to exhibit their skills from the kitchen to the dining table.
So on the Tuesday services, we have the lunch portion. So what happens is just people from around the city, they come in, and it's about $25. They come in, eat, and we have about 5 different types of meals that you can have, and you get one of each, and they get to pick it, and we have to execute that in our classes.
To learn more on the hustle and bustle of the culinary arts and wine studies, you can find more information on the COC website, or stop by the IQ on the Valencia campus for a Tuesday lunch. For Cougar News, I'm Leah Rossell.
Uber and Lyft have made a large impact on the daily commuter, but are apps like Grubhub, Postmates, and Uber Eats transforming the restaurant business? Al Charles Castillo dives into the new age of food delivery.
Food delivery apps such as Postmates have been impacting Southern California, including the Santa Clarita Valley. Postmates as a mobile food service connects customers with any store or restaurant in minutes. These apps, however, are not always good for mom-and-pop restaurants in the Santa Clarita Valley. Telly's is a restaurant that has chosen not to use a food delivery app in their business.
I think it might be positive for some, but negative for others who are on the lower margin of price point. Like, for instance, us. For us to do Uber Eats, they want 30% of your profit. Well, we're already so cheap, so it doesn't make sense for us to work with Uber Eats, you know? Like, and we have a drive-thru where we're just calculating that 64% of our business comes through our drive-thru. I think it does decrease that because your regulars now, when they can get like something delivered to them, they might come less and you get to see them less.
Although restaurant owners might not like the food delivery apps for their business, college students find these mobile delivery services to be more convenient.
Having food delivery apps at work did impact my job. It made it more easier because the customer already knew what they wanted, and all someone had to do was come and pick it up.
For Cougar News, I'm Al Charles Castillo.
A new local ice cream shop is ditching the cone and rolling with it. Will this new concept leave them iced out? Noah LaBelle has the scoop.
Chill Creamery on Newhall Ranch Road is rolling out a foreign take on ice cream in Santa Clarita.
Rolled ice cream comes from Thailand, and it's actually a Thailand street food thing. They have these little carts and they have these little frozen platters that get down to minus 19 degrees. Well, the process is really simple. You take fresh cream and you pour it on a frozen platter. And with your spatulas, you kind of work your fruit or your cookies or whatever you want to have mixed in there. And within a matter of a minute and a half, the cream is now frozen for the very first time. And with the spatulas, you just kind of roll it up.
The rustic ambiance combined with the sweet flavors allows for a unique experience like nowhere else in town.
I've always said from the beginning, Chill is more than just ice cream. We've tried to create an environment that's family friendly, that's a place that young adults want to come, that kids can come and enjoy, a place really for everyone. And what makes this place unique is, besides the ice cream, is the culture and the environment.
Offering interesting flavors like s'mores galore and guac it out, or some of their unique Friday specials, Chill may just change the way that you eat ice cream. For Cougar News, I'm Noah LaBelle.
Hey Luis, did you hear who won Artist of the Year at the AMAs last night?
No, I didn't, but I'm sure Kate Malloy can tell us who did.
Thank you, guys. Last night, the American Music Awards were held at the Microsoft Theater in Los Angeles. This star-filled event, hosted by Tracy Ellis Ross, featured many captivating performances. Jennifer Lopez stole the show with her new single, Limitless. Taylor Swift and Camila Cabello went home with the most awards at 4 each. Taylor Swift took home the Artist of the Year award, while Camila Cabello walked away with the new Artist of the Year award. Don't we all wish we can relive the best parts of our past? I bring us back to the good old times, remembering our favorite shows.
Hi everyone, this is Kate Malloy reporting to you from College of the Canyons. I have asked COC students what they used to watch growing up as a child. Let's take a trip down memory lane.
Ah, the 90s and the early 2000s, a time when we didn't have to worry about a thing. No midterms, essays, homework, just being a kid and watching our favorite television shows with our juice pouches. Popular shows like Zoe 101, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, and even Stevens have left their mark. What did you used to watch?
Danny Phantom, Jimmy Neutron, Timmy Turner. I used to love Fairly Odd Parents.
I grew up with Rugrats, Sweet Light of Zach and Cody, all those kinds of shows.
Kim Possible, she was like my little animation crush. I watched That's So Raven.
Let's see if these CSE students can guess the correct title of our favorite childhood TV show.
Drake and Josh.
Now hug me, brother!
Oh, Zach and Cody.
Okay, so this show is about a dog, and he lived very isolated.
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Fort Lauderdale, St. Pete, Miami.
Sure, the 90s and early 2000s may be over for us, and yeah, it's time to face reality and act like adults, but old or young, the 90s and early 2000s will always be the good times for millennials and Generation Z. This is Kate Malloy for Cougar News.
Okay. If you open up your mind.
The spooky season is upon us and horror movies are the background noise. Reporter Emily Mahler faces her fears and gives you the latest scoop on some classic scary movies.
Hello, fellow ghosts and ghouls. This month is October, and we've decided to get spooked and review some horror movies for the witching season upon us. I'm Emily Mahler, dressed up as famous director Steven Spielberg. Let's get started. In 1975, a movie came out that will creep up on Steven Spielberg for the rest of his life. Amity Island is the setting for Jaws, a horror movie reflecting on a bloody summer of shark attacks. A police chief, shark hunter, and oceanographer team up on a boat to stop the murderous shark, but they are in the animal's territory. What will happen? John Williams' music and the film's production issues make this film terrifying and sometimes hilarious. Norman's best friend is his mother. Alfred Hitchcock's 1960s psychological horror film Psycho surrounds itself around Norman Bates and his mother's hotel. The secluded hotel houses Marion for a dark night of murder, confusion, and toilet flushing. This film is a classic, and it gets creepier and creepier as it goes on. Psycho is one of my favorite films. A newer horror movie you should check out is 2017's Get Out. Jordan Peele, known for his comedy work, shows us the opposite in his directorial debut. Chris, played by Daniel Kaluuya, goes to meet his girlfriend's family in their quiet home, and it gets scarier every scene. Definitely when race and the sunken place get involved. This film is insightful with many hidden references. Daniel Kaluuya is fantastic. This movie also won the Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay. That's it for this week's Cougar Review. See you next time.
It's the season for scares, and a local business is taking a virtual leap with a new Halloween experience. Reporter Patrick Pamanian takes us back to Victorian London for a new horror encounter.
The Jack the Ripper virtual reality combines innovative technology and classic storytelling to create a truly immersive experience.
We're using the HP Z computers, they're called back-top computers, or on a backpack. You wear them. And we're using the HTC Vive Pro 2.0, brand new.
The HoloZone production of Jack the Ripper is a mixture between haunted house and escape room attractions with a focus on the problem-solving aspect.
It's a lot of problem solving. You're trying to figure out who Jack the Ripper is, and there's clues that you have to find and things that you have to interact with. But it was really immersive, so I've never done that before with virtual reality, so that was fun.
This new VR adventure has a different approach to Halloween celebration in comparison to more well-known events during the holiday.
Horror Nights and Fright Fest are fun for physical mazes, but when we came into this expecting virtual reality, we kind of were not skeptical, but we thought we knew what to expect, but I think this would fit well with all the physical mazes going on over there.
If you would like to enjoy this uniquely mysterious and thrilling experience, come down to Mount Asian Canyon Country. Prices start at $29.95 and are available until Halloween. For Cougar News, I'm Patrick Pamanian.
Cal Arts has many great music programs. Recitals are required for students who major in music. Performers have to practice over and over again for their recital. Our own Summer Yang went out to Cal Arts to hear the music.
Cal Arts is a private university that is located in Valencia, California. It offers many music programs such as percussion, guitar, harp, piano, and winds. Wind studies include flute, clarinet, and oboe. The flute recital contains string quartet, harp, violin, and flute. A total of 6 songs were played in the concert.
You really have to build a discipline to practice every day for a certain amount of time, because if you don't, then it's nearly impossible to give a good performance. But there's also a mental process to it. You can't just practice every single day without trying to think, how am I going to present this music to everybody?
For students who majors in winds, recitals are required. Students have to make sure they set up everything right and rehearse many times in order to make sure the show runs smoothly.
I've been practicing for the recital for about 2 years. The way my program works is that my first year they introduced one of the pieces that I played today, 4A, 4A's Fantasy. And then by the end of that semester, I just worked on the first movement. Eventually, I kept working on different pieces, and then we picked which ones were the best ones from my recital.
Each student may pick the time for the recital, and the amount recitals they need to have varies. It depends on their degree. For undergraduate students, they are required to have a recital once every 2 years, and for graduate students, they are required once a year.
This is Summer Yang for Cougar News.
For more information, visit cougarnews.com. Back to you, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Kate. Coming up next on Cougar News, we take you to the heart of the West and explore Santa Clarita's 25th annual Native American Powwow.
And we fill you in on the latest in local high school and COC sports. Stay tuned.
In a home fire, can your family safely escape in 2 minutes?
I heard my oldest son holler for mommy, and all I could see was smoke. The boys, we never really worked with them, I guess, on telling them what to do if there's a fire. We lost our child. We lost everything.
Make sure you can safely escape a fire. Practice your 2-minute drill. Test your smoke alarms monthly. Make your plan today.
It's a gateway to opportunities.
A place where students learn they can believe in themselves.
Behind every possibility at College of the Canyons are the people.
Together we focus on achieving success, one student at a time.
That focus is a reflection of what we value.
It defines who we are.
We are. We are.
We are College of the Canyons.
This is Cougar News.
Santa Clarita hosted its 24th annual powwow over the weekend to raise money for Hart Park. To many participants, the event is sacred. It's deeper than a common fundraiser. Aaron Landon found out what it means to the Native Americans in our community.
Lovers of culture gathered at Hart Park over the weekend to celebrate Native American heritage at Santa Clarita's 24th annual powwow.
My mother founded this event 25 years ago. We're Navajo, have Navajo in us, and I just feel close to her, and I feel like I'm doing something good. She wanted to bring awareness of the Native American culture to Santa Clarita and educate people.
Educational, fun to watch, and exciting for the whole family. But for many Native Americans, the powwow holds a deeper, more spiritual significance.
It's to the earth, and spirit, and grandfather. This is like church. That's pretty much what it is. It's from here.
I've been coming to this event quite a few years, probably about 20 years. I am one of the people from this land. The people in this area were called Tataviam, okay? But I've also Tongva and Chumash, which were coastal people. So I've taken on the ways of the Chumash people, and this is the way I'm dressed, the way I dance is according to the coastal people. The paint is colors of our culture, you know, the directions and things like that. And the mask, I was always told when you would go out to dance, you never know who you were going to encounter. So it's kind of a protection thing. Okay, so to keep any bad energy from entering towards you or disrupting you. Okay, so that's what the paint is about, and they're in our traditional colors.
To an outsider, the powwow may seem like just another event at a park, but for Santa Clarita's Native Americans, the powwow is a way to reconnect to a vibrant culture that was nearly lost amidst a changing world. For Cougar News, I'm Aaron Landon.
Hey, I wonder how the COC football team is doing.
Me too. Let's take it to Michael Estrada, see if he can give us some good news.
I can, guys. It's good to be the Cougars. The COC football team is off to a 5-0 start and could make it 6 straight wins with a victory in Moore Park tomorrow night. The Cougars are ranked 4th in the state. Meantime, this past Friday night, Hart and Valencia met in a huge Foothill League battle, and the Vikings got off to a fast start. Moments into the game, Jake Santos takes the pitch and slides into the end zone for the touchdown. It's 7-0 Valencia. And Valencia can credit special teams for another huge play. The punt is blocked, and Benjamin Seymour comes up with a scoop and score. It's now 15-0 Vikings. Then, on the following drive, Hart turns it over again, and this time Davis Kopp screens to Seymour, and he is gone. The Vikings roll up 22 points in less than 5 minutes. The Hart sideline and fans have to be in shock. But the Indians finally get on the board near the end of the first quarter when Zach Johnson steps up and fires a strike to Drew Munoz. But the rest of the night belonged to Valencia. And here's your dagger as Santos caps off a dominant night, taking it 64 yards to the land of quick six. Valencia goes to stomp Hart 34-7 to remain undefeated in conference play. In other action, West Ranch crushed Canyon and Saugus rallied to beat Golden Valley. It's been a busy week for many COC sports squads. Last night, the COC men's soccer team beat Citrus 2-0, while the women shut out Antelope Valley 3-0. In women's golf, the Cougars took first at a conference meet in Elkins Ranch, and in cross country, both the men and women placed 3 athletes in the top 10 at a meet in Moore Park. That will do for sports. Back to you, Elizabeth.
Thanks, Michael. Halloween is right around the corner. Do you have your pumpkins ready for the big day? Alondra Lopez had the latest at Gilchrist Pumpkin Patch this weekend.
Santa Clarita's Gilchrist Farms is a ranch where you can bring your family to learn how to gather eggs, horseback ride, make homemade soaps, and learn how to milk the goats. Not only is it a ranch, but they also have a pumpkin patch every October that they've been hosting for 3 years now. Monica Gilchrist tells us about how her family-owned farm came to be.
We started this business in March of 2016. We did birthday parties, classes, soap making classes, cheese making classes, farm classes. We launched our equestrian program at that time, and we had our summer camp. At that point, Lombardi's Ranch, which had been out here for over 30 years, was going into its 2nd year of not operating. So we were looking for some way to bring that experience to our summer camp kids. So we didn't intend to make it into a big festival, but it happened. It was really fun and exciting, and it's definitely been a lot more than for our summer camp kids. It was my grandmother's home. And my grandmother had a sharing, beautiful spirit, and to be able to open this up and keep these traditions going, and to be able to open our place up in a way that creates family memories and traditions, it's exactly what she would have loved.
On weekends, kids are able to get the full experience of getting closer and personal with the animals at the petting zoo, including activities like painting pumpkins. They also import their pumpkins freshly from Fillmore, Ventura County, weekly. This year, they added the straw slide for parents and children to enjoy. For Cougar News, I'm Alondra Lopez.
After receiving what she described as a bazillion calls from the hospital where she serves as director, Claire Simone, a marine mammal veterinarian, discovered a gecko perched atop a telephone in the office, repeatedly hitting the redial key with its foot.
That does it for this edition of Cougar News. I'm Elizabeth Medina. Remember, you can catch us on the web at cougarnews.com.
And I'm Luis Villa. You can also send us news tips and story ideas to our Twitter handle, @COC_Cougar News. And follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Have a good night, everybody.